Alcaraz and Sinner talk about their relationship beyond tennis. Jannik Sinner once again defeated Carlos Alcaraz in the final of the Six Kings Slam, 6-2 and 6-4, as he did back in 2024. The tournament is friendly, an exhibition, held in Saudi Arabia, but the prize, the Italian walked away with $6 million, is higher than that of a Grand Slam. It is Sinner's second victory over the Spaniard in 2025, in which they have faced off many times, in several finals. They are the two players everyone wants to see right now, and they admit that when one loses to the other, it motivates them to go back to training and look for solutions. That's what Jannik did after losing in the final of Roland Garros. And he won Wimbledon. Carlos admitted that after his loss at the All England Club he had several sessions focused on his great rival, and he got his revenge at the US Open. Now the ball is once again in the attic of the Italian. We've spent days looking for what to do to improve, he acknowledges. Rivals and friends. That rivalry does not prevent them from having a more than cordial relationship. We have a special relationship, a friendship off the court besides the rivalry in tennis. People might think it's not compatible, but we show that it is possible. We talk much more than people think, Alcaraz says. We also have a good friendship off the court. It's something fantastic, we don't have to be enemies off the court. On it we are and we try to play our best tennis, but that's it, we shake hands and everything returns to normal, Jannik responded. They also had a message exchange through social media. Sinner posted the classic message of thanks for the tournament and his rival, and Carlos replied, great, Jannik. Next time golf, skiing and karting, ha. Impactful message from Alcaraz about Sinner after the defeat. Carlos Alcaraz dedicates some nice words to Jannik Sinner after losing the final of the Six Kings Slam 2025. Unforced errors punished a Carlos Alcaraz who ended up losing in straight sets to a completely unstoppable Jannik Sinner. The Italian's comfort from the other side of the net determined the victory for the world number 2 in this Six Kings Slam 2025. Although he tried to significantly change his reaction in the second set, nothing changed the final result, with Sinner flying on the Six Kings Slam 2025 court. These were Carlos's words in the moments following the defeat in Saudi Arabia. When Jannik plays at this level, it's always difficult. Today he has been too good, everyone was able to enjoy his tennis. It has been a very high level of tennis, Carlos Alcaraz said during the trophy ceremony interview. He played great tennis today, he didn't let me get my rhythm in the match. He says he improved his serve and I could see it. I didn't have any break points and that's something I'm not used to. When he serves really well it's very complicated to play. I couldn't find solutions. That gives you an extra dose of pressure, more so against a great returner. Do you really like it when Sinner plays like that? Not much, the Spaniard said jokingly. Sometimes it seems like he's playing ping pong. It's not fun being on the other side of the net. I always say that when he plays at such an incredible level it gives me motivation to go to the court to train and give 100%, it motivates me to be better. It's like a puzzle, sometimes I don't like it, but it gives me that extra motivation. Alcaraz and his special friendship with Sinner. I've written to him on several occasions to see how he was doing, to congratulate him. We have a special relationship, a friendship off the court besides the rivalry on court for which people might think it's something competitive and that it's not compatible. We saw that it is possible, we talk much more than people think, Carlos confessed. Alcaraz analyzes the rest of the season. There are some indoor tournaments left, I am trying to adapt to the courts. I don't have the best record on these surfaces, but I am trying to improve it. I have the number 1 at stake so I will give my best. Sinner explains the importance of his rivalry with Alcaraz. I think about it a lot. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram comments. Jannik Sinner, world number 2, talks about his relationship with Carlos Alcaraz, in addition to that fight for number 1 in the ranking. Impressive. That was the performance of a great Jannik Sinner in the big final of the Six Kings Slam 2025. Despite being clearly a friendly tournament, the Italian number 2 did not lift the accelerator at any moment to secure the title of the event. With a very convincing victory over Carlos Alcaraz, the Italian showed he has more than enough level to fight for absolutely every ball, deploying a range of resources that mixed perfectly with the fun typical of an exhibition tournament such as the Six Kings Slam 2025. I wish I could play like this everywhere. First of all, it's always good to share the court with Carlos, see the whole team. You do spectacular work throughout the season. You work really hard and win big titles, so thanks for leaving one for me, Sinner said on court between laughs. We come here because we love the atmosphere, we like to play here. The organization is incredible. Jannik Sinner talks about his rivalry with Carlos Alcaraz. When I train I think a lot about improving for the next time we face each other. That is the exact reason why we need Carlos and many other players to keep improving, focusing on other tennis players. For me, it's Carlos. Especially this season we have played each other a lot. I've lost many times against Carlos. It's an honor and a pleasure to share the court with him, but at the same time you want to improve as a player, and for that you need rivalries, and even more importantly, a nice friendship off the court. We have a very special friendship. I've had some very tough defeats, but also some very beautiful victories. It's a great rivalry. We are one of many rivalries. Playing at this level of tennis makes me really happy. This year it will be impossible to regain number one. I love playing indoors in the end of the season with tournaments in Italy. The emotional moment between Sinner and Alcaraz after the final of the Six Kings Slam. Both players shared a very emotional hug after the match. Jannik grabbed an important victory economically and banal in terms of the tennis. Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner were playing for one of the biggest economic prizes in the history of tennis. The Italian eventually won, but the handshake between both stars at the end of the match left a moment of incalculable value. The one from San Candido and the one from El Palmar embraced very emotionally after the final of the Six Kings Slam. Both have had a year full of successes in which they have shared the 4 Grand Slams. With how demanding the schedule is, it is clear that both players arrived just about fit to the tournament held in Saudi Arabia. Sinner resolved the final quickly, thanks to a result of 6-2 and 6-4. Carlitos succumbed to the Italian, showing some signs that his ankle might not be fully recovered after the sprain suffered in Tokyo. Jannik also was carrying serious physical fatigue after having to retire in Shanghai due to cramps. Both embraced at the end of the match and shared laughs that once again show their good vibe. It doesn't matter that he is your greatest rival. Alcaraz and Sinner are the greatest enemies on the court, but they keep showing signs that off it they have a very healthy rivalry. How much money does Jannik Sinner take for winning the Six Kings Slam? The 6 legends of tennis who took part in the competition received a good sum just for participating, which was multiplied in the case of the eventual winner. The world of tennis is currently in full view. And it is that from October 15th to this past Saturday, October 18th, the Six Kings Slam was held, a competition that brought together the best tennis players of the moment to compete on the court, among them Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner, who battled in the final, with victory going to the Italian. The event, which is not official, had the ANB Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, as its main stage, and offered very attractive prizes to its participants. In addition to the Spaniard, another 5 stars of the racket sport did not want to miss the appointment, including Novak Djokovic, Alexander Zverev, Taylor Fritz, Stefanos Tsitsipas and the aforementioned champion Italian. And one of the main reasons for their attendance was, without doubt, the abundant prizes. The tournament awarded $1.5 million just for participation. It's a sum certainly high, especially compared to what's distributed at other tennis events. In fact, it was accentuated in the winner's case. Generous prize for the winner. In the last few years, Saudi Arabia has become one of the biggest promoters of numerous sports disciplines worldwide. And because of the investment it makes to host its own events, it is becoming one of the places to watch for new projects of this kind, where the top competitors can be celebrated with a hefty payout. Jannik Sinner turned out to be the winner of the tournament by defeating Carlos Alcaraz, being rewarded with a prize of €6 million. That figure is almost double what the winners of a Grand Slam receive. Added to the base amount that competitors receive just for taking part, the prize that the winner walked away with is truly large. This sum puts it as the largest prize ever awarded in a racket sport competition. That's why it will be no surprise to expect more competitions like this in Saudi Arabia, where legends of any discipline might be celebrated with a handsome reward. Novak Djokovic once again lost to Jannik Sinner in a clear manner. This time it was in the $1 million exhibition Six Kings Slam, 6-4 and 6-2, a match that didn't give points, but could give morale and confidence for what remains of the season, or even for next one, to know if he could approach the 2 players who have been getting the better of him this year, Sinner and Alcaraz. I would like someone to be able to swap a younger body for mine. Just for 1 year to be able to try to beat them. It would be nice, he said jokingly. Jokes aside, I still have the motivation. I know that each time it gets harder for me to beat Jannik and Carlos. I will keep challenging them until I succeed, said a tennis player who has achieved practically everything he's set out to, holding the Grand Slam record, weeks at number 1 or winning the Olympic gold, at the past Paris Games. This time he has his next challenge for next season, when he will turn 39. It is perhaps his hardest challenge yet. Against Sinner his head-to-head is lost, 4-6, against Alcaraz he still holds, 5-4. The truth is that if it weren't for the Spaniard and the Italian, quite possibly the number of Grand Slams that Djokovic would have is more than 24. It's incredible that I can still play at a high level. To be among the 5 or 10 best. It's a good feeling. I am giving my best, he assured. He is currently the number 5 in the world. After the defeat in just under an hour of Alexander Zverev against Taylor Fritz in the 6 Kings Slam 2025, the German player was asked in the press room about that eternal goal that pursues him of winning a first Grand Slam, which has almost become a curse for him. The Hamburg native sees Alcaraz and Sinner light years ahead of us at the moment, but insists that we will not sit down. The first Grand Slam of his career might be the title of a horror movie for an Alexander Zverev, who was asked about it again after falling in 2 sets to Taylor Fritz during his debut in the 6 Kings Slam 2025. In his press conference, after that tough 59-minute defeat in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the German declared that Alcaraz and Sinner are light years ahead of us at this moment, but left the door open for Taylor Fritz, Novak Djokovic, Jack Draper and himself as successors to the duopoly established by the Spaniard and the Italian. Although he insists that health is the most important thing I'm thinking about, after the physical problems he showed in the exhibition tournament in Riyadh, the German has sent what may be taken as a warning to the dominance of Sinner and Alcaraz. I believe that we can't simply say that in the next 10 years Jannik and Carlos will win all the tournaments and we will just sit back and watch, said a confident Zverev, sure that the 2 best in the ATP ranking will continue their winning dynamic, something those main names cited by Sasha must fight to break.